Hi, welcome back. In this section, which is really short, only 3 muscles, we are going to be learning about the muscles that are located in your posterior thigh. And basically, these are your 3 hamstring muscles. So when looking at your 3 hamstring muscles, that means there has to be 2 muscles on one side and 1 muscle on the other side. Well, the good news is that the one muscle that's by itself has 2 heads to it. So it's kind of similar to having 2 muscles on each side. So then all you have to do is remember, well, is the one by itself on the medial aspect or the lateral aspect? And the one that's all lonely by itself, lonely with an L, is on the lateral aspect of your posterior thigh. And that muscle is your biceps femoris. So this is why we can't just say biceps muscle anymore. You have to be specific. Are you talking biceps brachii, action on the elbow, or the biceps femoris, which actually has actions both the hip and the knee? So the biceps femoris, no, you don't have to be able to see both heads. On some models, like for instance the far right model, you are able to see 2 heads, but on most you cannot see 2 heads, so it doesn't matter where it's tagged. This is just going to be the biceps femoris muscle. And it fills up all the posterior lateral aspect of your thigh. Medially, we are going to have 2 muscles, but they are not side by side. They are superficial and deep. However, the deep muscle is wide and the superficial muscle is narrow, so that you can see the deep muscle on both sides of the superficial muscle. So these are going to be on the medial aspect of your thigh, so close to where your thigh muscles will be touching each other. So the more superficial of these 2 muscles is known as the semitendinosus, and it's called that because in real life it has this really long tendon that you can see, and it's a very small muscle. Okay, and so, however, in the cheaper models, which are spray painted, you just get this swash of gray paint, so it looks like the tendon length of this muscle is exactly the same as the tendon length of the muscle deep to it, which it is not. So that's the superficial muscle. And so deep to it on both sides is going to be the deeper muscle, which is the semimembranosus muscle. So it can be tagged on either side. It can be tagged on the medial aspect. So the most medial of all the hamstrings that you're going to see is going to be semimembranosus. Then you would have semitendinosus, which is more superficial. And then you would see more semimembranosus. I also want to point out that so far in our upper extremity models, we've had the SIS, capitis, okay, TIS for the is sound, but here, semitendinosus and semimembranosus, these are US spellings at the end. So those are our 3 thigh muscles posteriorly, the hamstrings, and what's good about them is they all tend to have similar origins and that they're all coming off the ischial tuberosity. That being said, that second head of the biceps femoris muscle comes off that linea aspera of the femur posteriorly. So it actually has 2 origins, one for each head, 2 totally different muscles. But that other head is still is coming from the ischium. So all 3 of these muscles will have a function at the ischium. So if you consider this to be the buttock area and this is the posterior thigh, they are going to be like this. So when they contract, that is going to move your thigh muscle posteriorly, which means you are extending your hip. And then all 3 of them cross the knee joint, which means when they contract at the knee joint, if this is your thigh and this is your leg, and if they are posteriorly, when they contract at your knee joint, that moves your leg posteriorly. But the leg moving posteriorly is not extension, that is flexion. So these 3 muscles do hip extension and knee flexion. They all come off the ischial tuberosity for origins. The two that are medial, the semitendinosus and semimembranosus, they are going to insert on the medial bone of your leg, which is your tibia, whereas the biceps femoris, being a lateral muscle, will insert on your lateral bone or the fibula. So hopefully that makes all sense to you now, so that there's no memorizing to do, because you can kind of sit there during a quiz or a test and figure it out. And with that, we are done with our quadriceps muscles, and I will with our hamstring muscles, and I will see you shortly, yes, to go over those quadriceps muscles. Thanks for all your hard work and learning about muscles.